Princess Wannabe, written and illustrated by Lammle. Oops, said the babysitter. It is way past story time. Go brush your teeth while I put the baby to bed. But, said Fern. Hurry, said the babysitter, disappearing down the hall. Besides, you picked another princess story. Those all end the same way. I prefer to find out for myself, thought Fern, and she opened the book. Achoo! Fern brushed some dust off the page and her nose began to twitch. I want, achoo! I want to know what it is like to be a princess. If I were a princess, I bet my wishes would always come true. Just then, the corner of the page fluttered open. The moment Fern turned it, she was deep inside the book. Oh, lucky me, a fairy godmother, said Fern. Please, oh please, would you grant me my wish? Sorry, dearie, not at this hour. I'm off duty. Besides, my hands are full fixing this leak. So there she is. She's fixing something. She's busy. The fairy godmother leaned out the door. Perhaps a visit with the princess will help. Just stay on the path. It leads to her castle. So there's the castle up there, and that's where the fairy godmother's sending her. Fern skipped down the hill. She hadn't gone far when she came upon a frog smacking his lips. He stopped and wiped the froth from his mouth. Fern cringed. Mr. Frog Prince, I know how your story goes. Just because I want to be a princess doesn't mean I need a prince. Can you keep those lips to yourself? She doesn't want to kiss that frog. Don't fret, milady, he said through a mouthful of toothpaste. I'm done kissing for the day. In fact, I am getting ready to go. He gulped some water and returned to brushing. Phew! Fern raced down the path. Soon she came upon a wolf hunkered over a stump, his claws hovering and ready to... Stop! Fern stamped her foot. What are you doing? If I were a princess, I would outlaw such bad behavior. Good grief, whispered the wolf. Keep it down. Bad behavior is just my day job. Right now, I'm pig-sitting for some friends. I don't want you waking the little ones. Now shoo. Oh, pardon me, said Fern. So the wolf is actually babysitting the pigs. And off she ran. So she's going to head this way. There's a troll underneath the bridge saying, shh. She stopped when the path forked. I'm lost, she coughed. And something stinks. Which way should I go? She says something stinks. Do you see something in the woods? Fern climbed up into the treetops. Excuse me, giant. Which way is the castle? The giant spat out his whistle and bellowed. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Open your eyes, girl. Follow my thumb. Fern scampered down the tree. Through the forest, up the castle gate. She stood, panting in front of a guard. He rolled his eyes and said, Not another one. You wannabe princesses are all the same. I just want to ask Her Highness. The gate is closing, he interrupted. Her Highness has no time for you and your questions. He pounded his lance into the ground when all of a sudden the guard shrieked, Mice! Yikes! I prefer, said Fern, to ask her myself. Thank you. And she ran into the courtyard and wandered down halls, past miles and miles of locked doors. So he got distracted when the mice came, and she ran into the castle. She found herself in a grand hall, exhausted, staring at a portrait of the princess. Is this the closest I will get? Said Fern. Fern turned just in time to notice some mice settle under a curtain. She ran after them. So there go the mice. Fern pulled the curtain back and heard an announcement. Story time! Quiet, please! She stared at the reader and gasped. That looks just like... Speechless, she found a good place to sit and listen. So there is what I think is the princess reading to all the animals in her chair. When the story ended, Fern waited in line to say goodbye. "Excuse me, I have one question. What is it really like to be a princess?" "Well," the princess sighed, "all day long I am fussed over. Cheeks pinched, collars starched, hair teased, and worst of all, reminded to sit up straight. If I had my wish, I would spend my whole day relaxing with friends and a good book." Fern thought of her comfy chair and her pile of books and her animal friends. So there she is talking to the princess. She could hardly believe the princess wished for something Fern already had. "Your Highness," Fern asked, "which is the quickest way home?" "Oh, we specialize in shortcuts," she said, the princess, and she snapped her fingers and ordered some fairy dust. Fern climbed into bed just in time for the babysitter to tuck her in. So the princess used her fairy dust to send Fern back to her bed. The babysitter's nose twitched as she lifted the book from Fern's arms. Achoo! "Fern, where did all this dust come from?" Too tired to answer, Fern closed her eyes and thought, she can find out for herself. Because we know that it was fairy dust. So our craft today is to make our own princess crown. So that's the one that I made. And I start with a plate. So just a regular paper plate. So this is for a smaller sized head, this type of plate. This will be for a bigger sized head. And what you have to do is you need to draw lines and split your plate like a pie. So 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So right through the center, and then again, if you turn your plate again, it'll be through the center. And once you do that, you need to take your scissors and poke a small hole in the center. You can either get your parents to do that if you need to, but you need a small hole in the middle to start cutting your plate. So then you cut on your lines all the way back so that you have all the sections of your plate. And once you have all your sections, you can fold them back. So this is on the thicker plate. Fold them back, and that will be the basic part of your crown. So once you've done all of that, then you just need to decorate it. So I have went through my sequins and my beads and tried to find some stuff to make a pink crown. So I'm going to use my tacky glue because I like how it sticks quickly. Things stay on. It's a little stickier than regular white glue, but if all you have is white glue at home, you can use that too. You just might need to lay your crown down so that it can dry. So start by decorating up the points of your crown, and then once you have all your points decorated, you can add some sequins all the way around your crown. So if you don't have sequins at home, or you don't have, on this crown I used some little pom-pom balls. So if you don't have those, you can just use your markers and you can make some designs. So I like to do little dots and lines. So you make a dot and then a squiggly line and a dot and a squiggly line, and you can do that all the way around the outside of all of the points of your crown. So that. Another thing you can do is stripes. So you can do some sections of stripes. So you just keep doing different directional stripes all the way around your crown. So if you don't have sequins and decorations, you can just use your markers or your pencil crayons or your crayons. And you can do that until you have a finished crown. Once you have all your decorations, all your sequins, your puff balls, and all your marker designs done, then that will be your princess crown.